I wanted to make a video about the salt video that I made the other day. What's it called? Discovered the hidden dangers of Walter Kempner's low salt rice diet, blah, blah, blah. Kind of all over the place on some of the comments. One person asked, am I coaching still? I heard you mention it in a video. I haven't been advertising it a lot lately, largely because I want to figure out where how I'm going to get there. I mean, I don't understand how it was so easy to get 175 pounds off as everybody's going to like, well, you're eating too many calories. When I do not eat a lot of calories, then the next day I eat a little bit more, I balloon up like crazy. I'm not doing the Seco thing. I know that's just nonsense. I've tried that for 20 years now. Hasn't worked. Copper overload is dangerous too. Yeah, that was reply to the Georgie Dinkov one. I'm never cutting salt. Mike Menzer. One thing I've never bought into is a demonization of salt. I've always felt better on high salt when I drink those LMT sticks with 1,000 milligrams of sodium in them. I feel amazing. I don't understand why those things are stupid expensive. I looked into them. They're like $1.20. I forget what it is a piece. Salt is not expensive. So like literally just, make your own. They're cheap. People eat brown rice because it is promote. Oh, that's the wrong video. Ryan, do you have any takes on B vitamins? Not a ton, no. I think he said in his interview, wrong one. The reason people feel cold on raw diet is because there's more blood going to the colon. Some reason people can feel lightheaded when standing up. I mean, you're not supposed to do that. It's just not supposed to be a thing. I think if someone wants salt, they should have it more on the side of not even gonna Yanomami tribe and getting sodium from greens. Here's the thing, and I know my head's being cut off. I didn't feel like adjusting this. Here's the thing. When I used to grow my own food, when I had a garden at the other house, it was like a mile from here. I had a huge for a city, I had a huge backyard, and I grew a lot of stuff. And I got the compost from my father. He's been running the same compost now for, like rotating compost now for like 25, 30 years, something like that. When I grew in that, I can't even, I had so many tomatoes, watermelon, potatoes. I forget all what I grew. I didn't have this channel yet, unfortunately. Everything was amazing. And I had a Brix test on. The tomatoes were like a Brix of 20, 25. And when you bit into them, they tasted like sugar and salt. It was insane. I never tasted tomatoes like this in my life. Now, if this, however you pronounce this tribe, has produce like that, green, like you wouldn't even need greens. There's so many inhibitors in greens. I don't know why people eat them a lot. I have like leafy greens may be fine, but like kale and stuff like that, like that's not for human consumption. Sorry, it's just not. Even spinach I'm iffy on. I get heartburn after I eat spinach, bad heartburn. So if you're growing like tomatoes and all that kind of stuff with really good soil, there's so many minerals and salts and everything in it that of course, yeah, you're not going to have to add probably much to it. Great video. I like you, how you search for the truth and questioning things. Nutrition is complicated and I'm not sure if it's one size fits all. I don't really buy that just because like every other species on this planet eats the exact same thing as the other, animals in that species. Medical Medium talks about salt and sodium. Very interesting. I actually stopped looking into him as much as I was for a little while there. This is really cutting my head off. I swear it's still there. So I don't really know. Dr. DeNicolaminario wrote a book a few years ago called The Salt Fix. Agrees with everything you were saying. We need salt, and it is a very wrongly villainized. He has a bunch of videos on YouTube too. Great stuff. Yeah, it's just like more I looked into it, and the more I started adding, not a ton, but some back into my life. It has definitely been good. By this way, the table salt, just sodium chloride versus natural unrefined salt is kind of BS. Not really. I mean, there's other minerals in salt. Like sodium is going to be the major portion of that, but you know, the amount of other minerals in the unrefined salt is negligible, and not to mention that they are saying something like Himalayan salt. Again, I didn't say Himalayan salt, I said Celtic salt. Has 80 plus minerals, etc. That is true because they have all elements in it, even toxic metals. There's toxic metals falling out of the sky every single day. Like, they're going to happen. For example, I used to eat a lot of Celtic salt because it was the only unrefined salt that actually has decent amounts of magnesium as well. But once I learned that it has also the highest content of stuff like lead, I stopped using it. Simply, what you want from salt is sodium and chloride. That's just not true. I already proved that in the video. Did you not watch the video? Like, potassium is needed in a higher amount than sodium is. Everything else you get from your diet, not always, actually. And, you know, I talked about that with Peter Rogers the last time I had him on here, and potassium is missing in our diet. You don't use salt because it has the amount of other minerals that you find in one seed of some grain, for example. This is just ridiculous. Not to mention, what do you think? Again, didn't mention Himalayan salt in this. They're talking about Himalayan salt again. That is the last thing you want, blah, 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 blah. Also, Himalayan salt looks a whole lot like bacon. And there's like some speculation going around that there used to be giants and everything like that, and Himalayan salt is actually their flesh. So that's possible. I agree with everything you said in this video. I didn't eat salt for years, and after adding it back, I have only felt better. I enjoy Celtic sea salt. It tastes better than this other salts and has more other minerals. In my opinion, common sense already tells us that salt is important. I mean, salt used to be more expensive than gold. There's a reason for that. And yeah, I know they preserve things in it, but they preserve things with sugar as well. Why would salt otherwise be one of the primary tastes we have? Exactly. Barbara says that you should add a little salt under your tongue 1 to 3 times a day. Drinking water to help hydrate your cells. Yes. Matt Stone of 180 Degree Health wrote extensively about this topic years ago. The vegan solution, I think it was salt your carbs. And then somebody would like to point out that Matt is still overweight, whatever that has to do with salt. I don't know. The distilled water thing is BS. It's not. I'm going to go with a doctor talking about distilled water is bad for you over somebody else. And then they go on to say that they're healthier than me. And they don't even have a profile pic. So let's not believe that one. I used iodized salt and potassium chloride salt on occasion. Cheap way to get iodine. If I don't have seaweed and it's 50% less sodium than table salt. You can put 10 tablespoons of sugar in a glass of water and drink and you will survive. Don't try that with salt. You will be dead. Again, I don't know what the relevance is. YouTube deleted my comment. Peter Rogers and KJ Saxon are flat out wrong about salt. Consider getting tested by RBTI person near you. They can test all this stuff. I have gotten blood tests. I put them on the channel. Like, if you're going to make comments like this, like, go look into it before you make comments. I freeze on fruit too. The starch warms me up with even without salt. There is a lot of sodium in starch, especially potatoes. I appreciate you. Sea salt being healthy is somehow contradictory to me in an emergency situation, being lost on a boat. Again, here we go with the person telling you not to eat. Obviously, you can't drink seawater. Not saying to drink seawater. The concentration of salt in seawater is very high. Oh, you look slimmer in this video. Cool. Eventually, we all become vegetable police. We change our diets. I do add Celtic salt on my veggies when I steam them. I think I'm going to add them to water. Avoiding salt, if your diet is only whole foods without added salt, is nonsense. The key here is to keep salt intake consistent. It seems like that from what I found. Will you be adding more fat or just salt? I don't really like to add fat all that much. Maybe it's just because of I don't know. The diet I was on when I felt higher body temp, which I'm not so sure is always a good thing. You should be 98.6 degrees. That's why 98.6 degrees is considered normal. I was relatively low in sodium. Only one of my meals for the day had salt in it. All of them were full of potassium. No. Again, it's a form of a mineral. Kempner was mainly treating kidney problems, not cardiovascular, and he also made his diet to be low in potassium as well. Again, that is not looking at what I was saying in this video. And the kidneys, when there's not enough sodium and everything in the diet, they don't do well either. How many calories do you eat? Oh, that's it. That's it for this video. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for this video. Oh, and then somebody said that magnesium flushes sodium and potassium out of your, or sodium out of your diet or out of your body. No, magnesium does not flush the body of sodium. So there's that question answered too. It's crazy to me. Like I put a lot of research into these videos, and then we got these not even profile pics on here, you know, coming on and being the experts. That is the video, and I will talk to you in the next one. Probably not worth sharing this one, but I just wanted to respond to some of these things. Anyway, talk to you in the next one.